Number 11. There we go. 3 friends scores. I'm kind of using bad English there. I'm just trying to cut out words. Are consecutive odd integers whose sum is, I don't remember. Find them. Okay. So we did some of these. All right. So what do we do on this one for 3 consecutive odd integers? What are they going to be? First one?
Second friend, third friend.
First one, second one, third one. Yeah. What's the first one's always x. Every word problem. What's the next one?
X plus 1.
2, because consecutive. Right? So remember the difference between consecutive odd numbers and just numbers in a row, right? Consecutive goes up by 2 every time, right? Because it means like 7, 9, 11. See how like odd numbers in a row go up by 2 every time? See, if it just said consecutive and it didn't say odd, so if it says odd or even, you go up by 2 every time, right? But if it just says consecutive and doesn't say odd or even, you only go up by 1 every time. So we're going up by 2 every time. Is that good? Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. Now, what am I going to do with those 3 formulas?
Put them together.
Yeah, I'm going to add them, x plus x plus 2, 4 equals 255. Is that making sense? We all good there? All right, so there's our equation. Now we can solve for x. How do we solve that equation for x? What are we going to do? We are going to, like terms, 1x, 1x, and 1x. 3x. 2 and 4. 6. 255. All right, now you guys are all solving pros, right? X is saying I want to be alone. What do we do to get x alone? Good. Subtract the 6. Right, because x wants to be alone. Bring down the 3x, subtract 6. It's going to be 249. Like that. Last step as always. Divide by the number right next to x, huh? So x will be, 83. X is 83. Now, that's x. Remember, that's the key. It'll unlock any door. That's not the final answer. But that's the key. Now we go back and unlock the doors, huh? So here's the doors. They're asking for the first, second, and third scores. So we just take that 3 back and we put everywhere we see x, we plug in 83, don't we? Because x is 83. So everywhere we see x. So the scores are going to be 83, 83 plus 2, which is 85, 83 plus 4, which is 87. So 83, 85, 87. Those are the 3 numbers. How are we doing? You comfortable with these? Questions? Yeah, Carlos. Right.
To me, in my head, odd is 1 class, right?
Oh, and you're saying, why are we adding 2 and 4? Those are even.
Yeah.
Really good. It's because that's the jump, not the number itself. In other words, everybody hear Carlos's question? It's a good one. He's saying, why does it say odd, consecutive odd, and we're adding 2? Well, think about odd numbers. Pick any odd numbers you want, like 15, 17, 19. What's the jump from 15 to 17? Yeah, so it's the jump that we're putting in there, not the number itself. Yeah, so even with odd numbers, the jump is 2, just like even numbers. So odd or even, either way, the jump is 2, isn't it? Right? Whereas if they just say consecutive, then it just goes by 1. We good? Are you happy with that one? All right. So let's keep going. Okay, so there's the question. Can you all read that okay? The daily rate is $36 plus 10 cents per mile. If the bill is $77, how many miles did you drive? I would probably do this one without a calculator. You can do whatever you want. I'm not sorry, without I mean without an X. I probably would not use an X. I think you can just use your calculator and directly figure the answer. It might be easier than using an X. If you want to use an X, feel free. Let me give you a second. All right, so what should we do? So your bill is $77.
77 is one side of the equation.
Well, you could do an equation, but let's just, I think it might be easier.
Just like that.
Just to kind of.
410 miles.
Oh, you got it? I don't know, you're cracking me up.
Yeah. You deduct 36 from 77,
Totally.
then divide.
Totally.
by-
Beautiful.
Multiply by 10.
That's fine. Yeah, I just think if you don't need an X, why bother? And I think this one is easier than using an X. So does everybody feel comfortable with what Manuel's saying? He's right on the money. In other words, if the bill is $77 and we know we paid 36 is just like the one-time fee, just like up front, you can just subtract that 36, huh? Leaves $41, like Manuel's saying. And then that's all used on mileage, huh? Because we got rid of the $36 one-time fee. So the other $41 is all used on mileage, and it's 10 cents a mile. So what do I do with that? If you spent $41 on mileage at 10 cents a mile, divide, huh? Yeah, you just feel it, don't you? All right? You just feel that dividing is the right thing. By the way, that is your math sense. So I'm just trying to get you more and more in tune with that. You just feel dividing, right? Because you're saying how many 10 cents go into $41? Right? And I think there's 410, right? Because there's 10 in every dollar times $41. 410 miles. No X needed. No X needed on that one. I'm sure if you clicked on the help button, they'd show some way with an X, but why bother if we don't need to? Is that okay? Is that making sense on that? Questions I can answer? Good. All right, so just like that. Okay, if I remove it? Go on. Okay, so here we go with another one of those consecutive. I bet you can nail this one out easy. So give that one a try. Okay, so the first one, what do we always let the first one be in a word problem? X. And then what's the next one going to be? X plus 2. Because they're consecutive even, right? Which means they go up by 2 every time. Even numbers do that. So then whose sum, so if you add up X and X plus 2, the sum is 146. Is that good? Like that? All right. So now how do we, where do we go from there to solve that equation?
We put them together.
1x and 1x
2x.
is 2x. X saying I want to be alone, so what do we do? Subtract, here's the wall, yeah. Subtract the 2. 2x is 144. Last step is divide by 2. X is, what's that, 72?
That's the first x.
That's the key, huh? That's the key. Take it back, put a 72 for X, 72 for X, 72 and 74. And there's our two numbers. We good there? Is that making sense? Is it getting easier, those consecutive ones? That one was.
That
Huh?
one is equal, we're only 2.
Just 2, yeah. Yeah.
We're going to get more.
It can get a little more. Find the number.
Minus 4.
So the sum of a number and 3 is triple. The result is 4 less than twice the number. Find the number.
Would be x plus 3. X plus 3.
Whatever comes before the here's the equals. Whatever comes, so this is the left side, and this is the right side. That makes sense? So I have an equal sign. So what's the left side? The sum of a number and 3. First off, how do you write the sum of a number and 3? X plus 3. Huh? Is tripled. How do you triple something? That whole thing times 3. Does that make sense? You got to put parentheses around it. That way you're timesing the whole thing by 3. So the sum of a number and 3 is tripled. The result is equals. And now the other side, right? Because this is the is here. 4 less than twice the number.
Minus 4.
So it would be 2 parentheses 4 minus x.
You can put.
Let's think about the phrase.
Minus 4.
4 less.
Okay, so the real trick. So remember what my suggestion is when you're doing a word problem and you're having trouble? What should you do? Put in numbers, huh? Remember, we think way better with numbers. Think about if it said 4 less than 9. What would you do with that?
4 minus 9. No,
Would
9
you?
minus 4.
Yeah, see, you know that this means the 4 goes in the back, huh? That's what that phrase means, huh? See how you know it with numbers? That's why I'm saying with word problems, put in numbers. 4 less than 9. See how that 4 less has to go at the back there? Is that making sense? So,
X minus 4.
yeah, so it's got that. So as soon as you read the phrase 4 less than, you go minus 4 at the back.
Minus 4.
Does that make sense?
Minus 4 goes.
And what goes in the front?
2x.
Twice the number. Yeah.
Twice the number. 2 times
2x.
x minus 4.
There we go.
But not 6.
No parentheses on that second part, that right part. Everybody see that? Is that making sense? 4 less than, 4 taken away from, twice the number. 4 taken away from, twice the number. So now can you solve that thing? Okay, so we distribute the left side. 3x plus 9. Like that. All right, and we're supposed to solve for x there. How do we solve for x?
Plus 4 minus 2.
Remember, we first do the x's.
The x's
Yeah, don't worry
together.
about 4 and the 9 right now. First think about the x's, right? We always do them first. What do we do when we have x's on opposite sides?
The minor x.
Take
Put
the
it.
lower one.
Yeah, get rid of the lower one, huh? Get rid of the lower one. So I'll go minus 2x. Is that making sense on that? Then we'll get 1x. Like that. And then the last step, x still wants to be alone. Subtract 9, huh? And so, x is minus 13? Yeah, question.
Why didn't you?
I know. So 3 consecutive integers sum is 15. Find them. Are these consecutive odd or are they consecutive even?
Even.
Does it say even?
No, but it's even because they are consecutive. They are odd or even is the same.
No. So you got to be clear on this. So there's 3 kinds of situations, right? There's consecutive. And so that would be like 15, 16, 17. That's just in a row. Versus if they say consecutive even or odd, that would be like, 15, 17, 19, or 14, 16, 18. That would be adding 2 every time. But if they just say consecutive, it's adding 1 every time. Everybody see that difference?
Yeah.
So you gotta watch out. If they say consecutive, even or odd, you're adding 2 every time. If they just say consecutive,
It's one.
that just means in a row, huh?
Yeah.
Not going up by 2 every time, just going up by 1 every time. Right? That's what consecutive means. Like the Golden State Warriors are hoping to win another title, 3 consecutive titles, right?
Is that your team?
What's that?
Is that your team?
I like them, but it's not crazy. It's just a very convenient example.
Yeah. There's a lot, so.
So that's 3 in a row, right? 3 in a row. So, does that make sense? We're going to use x plus 1, x plus 2. Everybody see that difference? If they say odd or even, if odd numbers go up by 2, even numbers add 2, add 2, add 2, add 2, add 2. But consecutive just means straight, just adding 1 every time. That good? So take it from there. All right, so let's write that. So we have x plus 1 plus x plus 2. The sum is 15. In fact, I think I'm going to move it up, give a little more room for us.
This time is 4. It's 4 plus 5 plus 6. That gives you 15.
We good to there? 1x, 1x, and 1x is 3x. Good. And 1 and 2 is 3. X is saying, I want to be alone here. So what are we going to do?
-3.
Yeah, subtract the 3. Like that.
Hmm.
12.
In problem number 11, we get 3 friends have scored 3 consecutive integers, and then we use x.
There we go. So down to here, and x wants to be alone. Last step is always divide. And so x is 4. That's the key. Unlock the doors, right? So it's going to be 4, 4 add 1, 4 add 2. So it's 4, 5, and 6.
15.
Are we good?